Alright everyone, I'm going to show you how to fully modify the CryBaby. It doesn't matter if you have the older brown board, a newer green board, or one of these translucent boards. They all have the same parts layout, and some of the signature models even have the same parts layout. For the first stage, I'm going to change out the stock black inductor for the red Fasel inductor. I'm going to demo that and we'll listen to the difference between the two. For the second stage, we're going to hot rod the CryBaby by changing out 4 resistors and 1 capacitor. The 4 resistors control the volume, mid-range, gain, and frequency sweep, and the capacitor controls the voice of the wah. For the third stage, we're going to remove the input buffer and make this pedal true bypass with an LED indicator. Okay, and for the fourth and final stage, I will show you how to put the volume, gain, frequency sweep, and mid-range control on these control knobs, and I will show you how to put the stock and Jimi Hendrix voicing on a mini toggle switch. Alright, the first stage should be easy. We're going to remove the circuit board from the pedal, and we're going to remove this black inductor. The black inductor has 4 legs that we need to unsolder. I already unsoldered everything with a solder sucker. Once we remove the black inductor, we can put our new red Fasel inductor in place. There's a green mark, and that's going to face forward. That's going to go in there like that. Let's solder it up. All right. The new Fasel inductor is installed. Let's take a listen to the stock version and the red Fasel version. All right, for the second stage, to hot rod a CryBaby, you're going to need a 100K resistor, a 47K resistor, a 270 ohm resistor, a 2.2K resistor, and a 0.022 UF capacitor. All right, I already unsoldered all the parts with a solder sucker, but we're going to be removing 4 resistors. The first one we're going to remove is the one in between the input jack and the Fasel inductor. This is a 33K resistor, and it controls the frequency sweep. We're going to change that out to a 100K resistor. All right, the next resistor we're going to remove is this one right here. This is I believe it's a 68K resistor. This controls the volume, and we're going to remove that and replace it with the 47K resistor. All right, the next resistor we're going to remove is this one right here. This is a 1.5K resistor. This controls the mid-range, and we're going to swap that out for a 2.2K resistor. All right, and the last resistor we're going to change out is this one right here. This one is a 390 ohm resistor. This controls the gain, and we're going to replace that with a 270 ohm resistor. All right, yours should look something like that. Let's hear what those resistors did, and then we'll change out the voicing capacitor. All right, next we're going to change out this capacitor right here. This is the voicing capacitor. This is a 0.01 UF, and we're going to replace it with a 0.022 UF. Again, I already unsoldered the part, but once we remove it, we're going to put our new capacitor in like that. All right, let's hear what that sounds like. All right, for stage 3, true bypass, you're going to need a true bypass foot switch, an LED, and a 1K resistor. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the buffer, which is this transistor right here, these 3 resistors, and these 2 capacitors. So that's this transistor and these components right around it. I already unsoldered everything with a solder sucker. All right, after you remove all the parts, it should look blank like that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a green wire right there on the left lug of where that transistor was. All right, for the LED, here's the power jack right here. For an LED, we're going to get a red wire and solder it to that terminal right there, like that. All right, should look like that. And we're going to get a black wire and wire it to that terminal right there. And it should look like that. All right, we have our power black and red wire and our green wire. Okay, we can put this back in the pedal. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to unsolder the switch. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a switch like this or like this. Go ahead and unsolder all of these wires. I already unsoldered the switch with a solder sucker. We're going to remove the switch and use our new true bypass switch. I have a jumper wire on the bottom outside lugs. You need to do this before we install it in the pedal. All right, once we have this switch installed here, we're going to take the original green wire that's coming from the connector and we're going to put it on this left center lug. All right, and then we're going to take the green wire that we soldered onto the board, and we're going to solder that to the top left lug across from our green wire that we just installed. All right, it should look like that so far. Next, we're going to take our purple wire and we're going to put that on the right center lug. Okay, it should look like that. Now we're going to take the two blue wires, both the blue wires go on the top right lug. All right, it should look like that now. All right, now the black power wire that we soldered from the jack here, we're going to put that in the center lug. Okay, should look like that. Okay, next we're going to get our 1K resistor and we're going to solder it onto that red power line that we soldered right here from the jack. That's for the LED. When you're looking at an LED, the long leg is the positive and the short leg is the negative. Where this wire is and the 1K resistor, I'm going to solder the other end of the resistor to the positive side of my LED. Then I'm going to take a small wire and solder it onto the negative side of the LED. And that wire is going to go on the top center lug. All right, you're going to put your LED wherever you like it. It is now true bypass with an LED indicator. Let's test that out. right, for the fourth and final stage, I'm going to show you how to put the volume, gain, frequency sweep, and mid-range on control knobs, and how to put the voice capacitor on a toggle switch. All right, for a volume control, we need a 50K potentiometer and a 39K resistor. We're going to solder the 39K resistor to the right lug of the potentiometer, and on the other side of the resistor, we're going to have a lead wire coming out. The center and left lug are soldered together with another lead wire coming out. For the frequency sweep, we're going to need a 100K potentiometer with a 10K resistor, and we're going to wire it up exactly the same. We're going to put the resistor on the right lug with a lead wire on the other side. The center and left lug are going to be soldered together with a lead wire as well. For the mid-range, we're going to use a 5K potentiometer with a 750 ohm resistor, and it's going to be wired up like the previous two potentiometers. All right, and for the gain, we're going to need a 500 ohm potentiometer with a 100 ohm resistor, and again, it gets wired up like the previous potentiometers. All right, for the voicing switch, I have a on-on single pole double throw switch. On the top lug, I have the stock 0.01 UF capacitor. On the bottom lug, I have the 0.022 UF capacitor. On the other side, both capacitors are soldered together with a lead wire, and a lead wire is also soldered to the center lug. All right, I already unsoldered everything with a solder sucker, but we'll go one mod at a time. We're going to remove this resistor right here. This is the sweep frequency control. That's located in between the Fasel inductor and the input jack. All right, we're going to take our 100K potentiometer, and on the other sides of the leads, we're going to put those in the location of that resistor. All right, like that. All right, next we're going to do is we're going to remove that resistor right there. That controls the volume. All right, we're going to get our 50K potentiometer, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the other ends of the lead wires in the spot of where that resistor was. Like that. All right, the next resistor we're going to pull out is this one here at the bottom. This is the gain resistor. And we're going to use our 500 ohm potentiometer. And we're going to put our lead wires where that resistor was. Like that. All right, for the last resistor, we're going to take out that one right there. And we're going to replace it with the 5K potentiometer. Like that. All right, and now for the voicing capacitor, we're going to remove that capacitor right there. And we're going to replace it with the leads from our voicing toggle. Like that. All right, there it is. All the controls are on potentiometers and on a toggle switch. All right, now the pedals all together. I personally like putting the frequency switch, the frequency knob and the mid-range knob on the left side of the pedal here, which is actually the right side of the pedal. And I like putting the gain and volume knob on this side. And I also like putting the toggle switch underneath the pedal here, where it doesn't get in the way and it won't break off if something hits it. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching my video. This is what the CryBabies look like now. This is the hot rod CryBaby. And this is the one with the control knobs and voicing switch. I'm going to do a follow-up video where we shoot out and compare the stock CryBaby with the two modified versions.